The new YouTube stream service kinda sucks. Excellent connection. All right, I think we're ready to rumble. So, good morning YouTube. Good morning, Coin Observatory. Welcome to another round of Wake and Trade, Sip and Click, Thirsty Thursday. One of my audio smoother is not quite working with my microphone this morning, so it might sound a little different. It might be a little louder, poppier. But we got to stream, right? We've got to stream. Got to get this update going. I'm going to start with Bitcoin because it has been raging, right? It has been raging. We do have some longs and we do have some shorts. And one area I was pretty keen on hedging on, you guys in VIP, we did get some shorts like at the wick high. We added some a little lower. I was hoping for a red daily close for like more down or for actual downside. We haven't had the downside. It's really important to note here is we're somewhat at the same extension that ETH USD struggled at a couple of months ago, right? Like we had this run up and then we had a failure at 475 and a liquidity move down before continuation, and I was hoping for something similar now. RSI's cooked up, guys. On the daily, we're starting to see some div. On the 3-day, this is what's making me weary, right? Like, yeah, we're cooked, man. It's overbought as overbought can go on Bitcoin, almost on the 3-day, and that's why I think it's time to see a little bit of a correction. It might not be a big one, but something, some kind of pullback. And here it just makes sense, right? Like nobody's expecting it here, and that's kind of how tops happen. Like, let's kind of zoom in, see what's going on intraday. We did hedge up here, bought some puts too. Now we're seeing what looks like could be several formations. Like here, it kind of looks like a bit of a bull flag. And then if we go into like where it was yesterday, it was a descending triangle. So it looks really noisy. The bigger picture, there's like a inverse Adam and Eve here. That's our Adam, the triangle, and then the Eve is right next to it. You go ahead and stretch that out a bit. Right, and then a descending triangle. Now we're trying to rally back up. Now I did say last night before going to bed that it's safe to assume that this is our resistance. $18,059. To get a 61.8 off this last move down of this range, like what can happen? What can go bad with our shorts? What could go bad with our longs? Well, we're still below that 61.8, which is fantastic, right? Like if you're short right now, that's great. Bears need to defend this 61.8 and need to do it like vigorously. And if we do get some kind of break above, right? If we get a break above here and it starts squeezing, then I think we're gonna like head up a little higher. It's gonna head up a little higher, 18.8 and 19K potentially, right? And that would be the rehedge zone, right? If these shorts get stomped out, our longs keep running, they keep earning, and then if we get up to 18.8, I'll rehedge, right? We kind of look for what we saw back here on that extension, but I do think, I could be wrong, right? And I don't want to be the first guy to feel a bear. I don't think we're bearish. I just think we're ready to correct a little. Let's look at like other things. Like the 4-hour RSI has been divergent. Usually like the fourth one is it. So it's one divergence, two divergences, and we kind of want to see. I want to see a pullback. I'm ready for a pullback. Get some shorts to generate some more BTC, and then likely pullback levels. First major one's gonna be 16.6. Like that would be nice. Then everybody that got trapped buying here is gonna come down here and say, oh man, like shouldn't have bought Bitcoin, we're going back to zero. You guys know how like polarized this market is, right? We're like, we're going up. Oh, we're going to 50K. We're coming down. Oh, we're going. They're super dramatic, right? So I'm ready to see some like dramatic targets at 16.5. Yeah, possibly, you know, a little deeper, maybe 50% or a 61.8 correction from here would be nice, and that would be just like off this last swing for now. See if we get any fib confluence. 1307, right? I don't think we'll go lower than that, but I'm not like top longing here. Our longs are from here, this range, right? And we let that ride, and now I want to hedge here and like trade the swing down to here. Ideally I want to see something like this, and then more continuation, right? That's the most ideal scenario for me. Not sure if the market's going to comply. All right. Ether's looking a lot trickier, right? I mean, I have hedges. We want to see a break above this channel, right? And if not, then we're just stuck in this channel on the daily. And I don't know if we're going to see that break this time around. But more importantly, if you look at these closes, let's just delete these alerts. Will that work? Yep. Just to clean up my chart a bit. Delete. And what we're going to do, I'm going to clear out this fib. And what's nice about these closes is they're actually above the resistance that we hit last time, right? So these are daily closes, and the last time we traded here, that was that 475 top, and now we're getting, and what was the resistance there? Well, it's not like a random point in the chart. It's the same fib extension Bitcoin's at right now, right? So the 474, 475 mark, we want to see continuation above that. Like we're closing above, so I think theoretically 539 should be safe. Unless we break down below, then you know we're gonna see just more range or chop it. I can't tell you what we're gonna see. All right. Now S&P sold off like pretty badly before the close yesterday, or into the close. I wouldn't say pretty badly. I personally think this is a bear trap, right? I think so. We retested the triangle, right? We retested this triangle on the daily. That was our retest. I don't think we're gonna come back down and retest it again. Let's look at ES1 futures. One thing I was paying attention to is 61.8 right now, and if this thing wedges, right, and it breaks, like, I'm glad it's not doing a bear flag for one. It doesn't look as menacing, and I don't know why we had that sell-off yesterday. Like, can somebody tune me in? Did something bad happen? Like Fed, bad numbers, vaccine, you know, I don't know what's causing this dip, but if we draw like a fib retracement off this last swing low and this last swing high, right, I want to see this can get back above 35.59 for a bullish scenario, right? Like this is the most interesting price level. If we close back above here today, then I'd say we rally in a Friday and go up. Bitcoin signaling risk is on, based on my December paper from last year. So I don't see Bitcoin going up and stocks coming down. I just don't think that's I don't think that's feasible, right? I think they're still correlated. Let's go to NQ1. This is the NASDAQ, the tech composite futures. We're back in that triangle. We almost had a break. Now I think this one's at a 50% retrace, so we might see that momentum come back in the tech, especially with Tesla being added to the S&P, right? This one's at a 50, so we might see tech lead that push, and if tech leads that push, then our QQQ calls are just gonna moon. Overhead target on tech. Let's just go for the nearest one. That's not even the. I'll put up two targets. I'll put a triangle target, and I'll put a latest range extension target. So our latest range extension target, if you take out this high, is going to be 12655. I can fib that on the QQQ too for us guys that are not trading futures. 304, right? And there are some wary gaps that have not been filled, but I think we're gonna fill those at a later time, like February, January, February, or maybe like December. That's when I think we'll come back down to these lows. Daily, you want to see 304, and can I get a non-annotated QQQ chart? And then if we're gonna get a triangle target, right, like where can this triangle really go? Then we're looking for like 316. Hey Delilah, I don't know if I said hi to you already. I did mentally. I got asked yesterday about XRP and EOS on Facebook in a comment. I hope you guys watching. No, it's looking menacing. It looks like an everyone's head and shoulders on Ripple USD. Yeah, that looks good for now. Target wise, like classical head and shoulders target would be, now me saying that doesn't mean like Ripple is gonna kick ass. It's 64% move. You could see a 64% move off Ripple, right? Which would put it at like 50 cents. Yeah. No quite fib there. I didn't really fib that right. So I think like 49 is safe to assume. 50 cents, 49 cents is a safe to assume target on Ripple. It might change in a second. Just about like that would be my swing trade. Let's see what like XRP BTC is doing. Usually Ripple likes to rally when Bitcoin's rallying, and or when BTC takes a break from rallying. So what does this chart look like right now? Is this tradable? Oh, this looks good. I in my opinion, Ripple looks decent for a rally. If it goes down to like 1522, that would be the ultimate entry, right? Ultimate knife catch. Add alert and add alert. That's just for me. See if we can get a retest to support. Fill some low risk bids for a sender. EOS USD. I'm just covering charts I was asked to cover yesterday. Before I start taking requests. I don't see anything here. EOS, BTC. I don't know, man. I would run from EOS. Yeah, I would run. Well, maybe not. It can go lower, right? It doesn't look as ready as Ripple, not the USD chart. And I like it when everybody like, I've been through enough crypto cycles where I see charts like this, like I'm seeing on Twitter on EOS, on a BTC pair. Well, sorry, something like this. We usually see that on like a BTC pair, and everybody's like, "Oh, we're top of the range. We're gonna break out," and then it just goes lower, right? I've seen that plenty in crypto. So, what's up, Paris? Let's look over DXY. Dollar index could mess some things up for Bitcoin and everything else. Dollar daily holding that 92 low. We bought some calls on U up, which would be betting dollar is gonna go up. It's not a momentum trade or anything, it's just a small hedge. I'm not sure how I feel about the dollar right now. I'd like to see it go lower. I'd like to see some kind of stimulus bill get passed. That's what I'd like to see. I don't know what's gonna happen. Can't bet on these politicians, man, especially with what's going on with the election. Tesla mooned. We're kind of breaking out. Do you think 550 is the next target, especially if you can continue rallying? That's another thing. To see Tesla go up and indices come down is Tesla bull trapping or are indices bear trapping? And I think the latter is the truer, right? I think indices are bear trapping right now, unless we get yeah, I think they're trapping. Like this looks ready to go back up to like 530, maybe 601. And Tesla. What's going on, Anthony? All right, guys, show me some charts. Let's I want to see what you guys are looking at, what you guys are looking for. You guys are eyeing in the market. Kind of give you guys my input on the big four: Ether, Bitcoin, S&P, QQQ. So, yeah. Let's go over Link. If you guys don't want to show me any recommendations, Link USD. I'm just gonna remove all the drawings, chart this from nothing, like I've never charted it before. All right, so Link, we had a high, we came down, right, and then we had a range extension, a bull break, and now we're seeing some consolidation. Some would say, hey, like this kind of looks like a bear flag, or we don't know what this is. Like this channel, right? It's just a channel for now. Bulls are saying it's bullish. Bears are saying it's probably a bear flag. Most importantly, the most important part is where are we in terms of a retracement back to previous high, right? So we're pretty close to two possible scenarios. If this is going to turn here, if this is going to like reject, right? 13.8 is a very important level to look at. If this is going to come back down and retest to say bottom of the channel, it should start doing it around here. And if it doesn't, if it decides to go up higher, then the next target's 15.12, right? This would be my next target, 15.12, 15.13, and that's kind of what I'm going for. And that's the scenario I'm going for on Link right now. If we get a close above and we kind of keep pushing up, then you know, if you go to new highs and 23 through 25 is a possibility. All right, sup with the eBay call, man. eBay kicking my ass too. I bought some more next week. So I'm not giving up on eBay. It has bounced back on me plenty before. I think this correction is over. We're just waiting on rotation. We're just waiting on the money to show up, man. Look at this volume. Look at this volume. If it's still affordable for you, I would go like 3 weeks out, 53s or 55s, 4 weeks out. You see this volume? This volume excites me on this dip. Right? Like, this is more buying volume here than we saw like back here or even on the way up. So I do think it's getting ready. Time. AMD. Man, AMD should be like the king right now when it comes to what's going on with their processors and like their GPUs and the Ryzen processors, right? 86, you got to be careful with these 61.8s. You want to buy the puts when we're here. When the market's doing a 61.8 off the last swing high, that's why it's important to hedge it, right? I don't see a formation or anything. I mean, it doesn't look like an Adam and Eve. There's like, definitely there's support, right? There is support over here, like at 73. Totally, like this is support. Is there a divergence we can find? Yeah, a little bit. What about intraday? Move drawings. So once again, we gotta get above 61.8 to get any kind of a bullish continuation. Right, we just need to. Let's look at ETH BTC. I'm not too worried about this pair right now, right? Like it's let's fib it though. Like forget market cycles, forget big picture what's going on. Let's go swing low to swing high. When yeah, I wouldn't worry about this except if we break like the 61.8, which is right here, which is what we're headed for, right? Like a good opportunity to like try to go like ETH maximalist again, right? Or major ETH, like instead of going like I don't know 50-50 or whatever, if you want to go ETH heavy, I think we're getting close to that level. That 26020, right? We've bounced off of it before. It happens to be this swing low and this swing low, and the fact that I can't trade this pair on margin anymore, right, is really pissing me off because this is where I'd want to do it. But that's a critical level, guys. So that's my input on ETH BTC. All right. Show me some the stock charts. Give me something. Give me something good. Yeah, you got like 15 minutes until market opens. I'd hate to like cut the stream early. I dedicated 45 minutes to you guys, so let's see what else. What else am I trading? Tesla. Let's look at Apple. Apple once again stalling. I am really surprised you haven't had another visit to 124. I thought it would be more bullish with the iPhone 12 coming out. Really surprised we actually rejected where we did, right? Which tells me like money is not in tech right now. But if the QQQ picks back up, right? If we go back here and this thing is able to hold above that 50% fib or see some kind of rally from the QQQ, that would make tech more interesting, right? A lot of things are like index, a lot of stocks are very much index weighted. Sometimes the index goes up and the stock doesn't, and that's where you have breadth, and want to see what happens. In terms of this last move, Apple is holding. close to the 61. So I want to see 125 get tested again. Whoa, man, got the flood now. CRSR. Crosshair Gaming. Man, I would take some profits on some of these high runners. Yeah, close to 37. Let me try like a 720 fib. Yeah, when things start blowing off, you know, I would say reduce. Or hedge. Like, you want to see it close above 35 before you can think about 38. I'm not sure what's moving it. What was earnings on this one? Especially something like post IPO. Well, actually, it's decent, but very rarely do we see an IPO just go up like this, right? Usually IPOs go lower than their IPO listing. Like, for example, before they move, something like Uber. Right? So when you get an IPO and it moons, you're not like the genius in the pond. Maybe you are, right? Maybe you are. But usually it does this. Right? Any IPO that's not at like a new low or 50% retracement, I wouldn't touch it. Kind of like me. Any IPO. I've never seen one, like even Square, which is one of the strongest companies right now. I got in at IPO because my business was using Square at the time. So I got in like pre-IPO actually. So anytime you see an IPO rally, take that money and run, man. Come back in a few years. Right? IPO listing, mega dump, rallies 100%, dumps again, right? And then, so IPOs, I like to get in when the chart starts doing substance. Like right here, that would be a great IPO, post-IPO entry, right? When you're seeing like a wedge, or it looks like a descending triangle where this thing broke out like a motherfucker, right? Neo Incorporated. Man, Neo's kicked my ass. I shorted it. I'll be honest, I lost money on Neo's shorting it at the wedge. I don't win every trade, right? I think Neo's ready for a break. Earnings are coming up. Oh, they did post positive earnings? Okay. I mean, that's not great. They didn't beat it by a lot. You see what I was saying about IPO rallies, right? You massive rally, and then, you know, figuratively, then it broke down. The only time I trade post IPOs is when we have a formation. Right, descending, broadening wedge, broke out, retested, got sent. Man, I want to see Neo fill some gaps. I want to see Neo back in 19. I don't know if they have like warrants or any kind of, I don't know if they have warrants or anything on Neo, or like holding periods or something. Personally, I want to see it pull back. What's daily RSI doesn't look too bad. The last high wasn't divergent or anything. That's the thing. When something's blowing off like this, it can actually keep blowing off. BYD. Man, you must be like a heavy gamer. This is a 3-day chart, so bear in mind I'm just trying to get an idea. Okay, this thing looks like it's bullish, right? I want to see a close above 37 like that. that just seems to be the struggle, right? If we can get a close above 37 and we're above that 61.8 and it looks kind of ready, it'll be ready to rumble, right? But like the last thing, or one thing that it looks similar to, believe it or not, as much as they're unrelated, that chart reminds me of the DXY. Well, it doesn't look the same in terms of formations, but you want to see that close above, right? Because when you don't get that close above, but in terms of like short term, does this look bullish? The last 2018 to now has kind of been staging a reversal, right? We see this. This looks good, man. This looks good. I think near term target or mid-term target. Like 43 would be fair, right? But I mean, this looks ready to like break out. I think like 43, 52, 74. I can't give you a time frame on those. I can't even give myself a time frame on my eBay to turn around, but rotations, right? So I think that would be a good setup. 43, 52, 74. Bye, Marshall Smith. Thank you, man. Let's go look at Costco. Is that Costco? COST. Ripping. On a tear, not I wouldn't call that a bubble. I think 410 is safe, right? We're above 372. I think 410 on Costco is a good target. J&J, Johnson & Johnson, Maxine. I looked at this chart the other day. Didn't see anything of worth noticing. And I don't know why we're not seeing. Well, here's the thing. Like, just because a company has a COVID vaccine, right? This thing has been almost like a government subsidy, COVID vaccines. They can't, it's not like finding a cure for cancer, right? What I mean by that is if you find a cure for cancer and you patent it, and you have 10 years of runway of selling it for as much as you want to sell it, and it might not, nobody can replicate it on that patent, so there will be no generic for that treatment or pill for 10 years. So you get a big runway of 10 years worth of really good earnings. But I think in the US, vaccine is gonna be free for people. The government's gonna make it free, so they're not gonna be more able to mark it up. All right. That's my thought on a vaccine and on these vaccine companies is it's not a cure for cancer. There's going to be several vaccines available, and I think you're going to get one via a military truck, so you don't even get to pick what vaccine you want to take. So you still don't know how it's going to be distributed, but we do know that the governments are paying for it, which means these companies, they also got funding from governments to push it. I think it's like Operation Warp Speed, where, yeah, I don't think there's going to be like a barrier to competition, barrier to entry, or any kind of edge on trading vaccine companies. All right, let's look at Netflix. Netflix looks like Spotify, looks like a range. Can't find the top off this extension. I would wait for 417, right? If we get 417 again, I'd want to go for 703, right? That's if. When is earnings? January 22nd, last earnings was down. They're hiking up their prices. My Netflix wasn't even working a few days ago. Now I haven't had problems with my Spotify, but my Netflix wasn't working. So yeah, if 480 goes and we're gonna look for 427, 417 to counter trade that, right? That's my thoughts on Netflix. Let's look at Spotify. Spot is doing like a lot more of a condensed flag type setup. I'm still long on Spot. I'm still adding on Spot. Thanks, Barris. Man, I'm glad I talked you into staying in cryptos. Alright, SPCE. Lots of hype on space travel. Good news. Yeah, but I mean, Richard